All right, let's fold and sew like a pro. I'm going to be doing a bunch of folding and sewing. We're going to teach you how to do this. I've already got it back stitched like previously. Other videos. Let's just get to this zipper, Z for zipper, alignment mark. Follow it along your presser foot edge. All right. Let's get to this zipper. Get across it, back stitch it. I'm gonna back stitch twice. We got the seam here. Going in the right direction, fold it in that way. Back stitch across their seams. Got some alignment marks. I'm holding my fabric kind of loose like this and letting it feed through the machine. And I'm guiding this edge. Seam. I like holding up here in the circle pieces. Tighter corners you can control easier feeding through the machine like this. Have your big long straight pieces going through the machine on the bottom so you can just feed it straight through and roll your top. Through the seam, back stitch your seam, every seam back stitch. Alright, see, try to keep this line going straight, pushing through this way. As I'm doing that, it's kind of like rubbing your belly and tapping your head at the same time. You got to push and roll at the same time. So we're getting close to where I'm going to show you how to roll fabric. So push, feed, push and feed. Just hit your push and feed, push and feed. Push with your foot, feed it. Just hit it once. Okay, this seam is behind my presser foot. I've gone through and I measured. How long this is, and then look at all this extra material that I have to fold up, and I've got like this much extra that I'm going to be folding. I've did my calculations. I think it was like 3/8 a fold, and every fold I'm bringing to behind my presser foot, and then I'm folding it again. Let's start with the first fold. So I'm coming down here. You have to make sure that's folding the right way. When it's sitting on your chair, you don't want it You don't want the folds to be rolled up. You want them down so there's not stuff, crumbs that get inside your crevices. I'll show you why. So I'm rolling it this way. See right there? I rolled it up, right up to the edge of my presser foot. Did that big of a roll, and then I'm pressing over the top of it. I'm gonna hold it down, press it down into place. I'm gonna hold it out on the edge here, and I'm gonna walk the needle right over the fold. And I'm gonna backstitch the fold. Oh, I didn't get quite over it. Now backstitch. Alright, you can see that fold. Now, this is my measurement. I'm gonna keep continuing. See how this fold, now it's at the back of my presser foot. So now I have this big of a gap, somewhere around 1 inch or so. I'm gonna do another fold underneath. About the same type of fold, just enough for the material folds up to my foot. I'm gonna press this down and hold it. Go across the top of the fold, backstitch it. Continue on. Keep feeding my material in evenly. Get to where your fold is in the back. See how you're folding? This is, you're keeping your measurements consistent that way. You really don't want to spend the time and measure unless you really want to. You can do all these measurements perfectly, have them set out perfectly where you're folding it perfectly on these lines, but this is just a quick tip. You don't have to waste your time doing it. You're doing your measurements off your presser foot, you're doing your folds. But I'll tell you, for me, even folds, even spaces on anything, when it's done, you look at it and go, okay, well that took a lot of time, or you know, that guy knows some tricks and tips to make that really nice. And it's good quality. Let's fold again. We're doing this by ourselves. We don't want to spend the money. Remember, I'm challenging you to so instead of going to the upholstery shop and spending thousands of dollars, I want you to try this first. I want to teach everybody how to work like a pro. Folding like a pro, working like a pro, sewing like a pro. Quick tips. So you still have a little bit to do a fold or two in. I could have spaced the folds out just a little bit more, but it's okay. It's pretty close. Let's just travel through here. I'm just going to do one more fold. Tiny one. Alright. Finish this. Back stitch it. Let's see what we did. Look at that. Really nice wave of folds. This is the other side. Now we can sew these two together. I had to stop and unstitch it. I got ahead of myself. Now we're back at it. Button this up so we can put our pillow stuffing in it. My alignment mark. Hold your strings. I know I could teach you how to do this without and save you a bunch of money. I want to educate people in my findings that I have found working on things. I want people to have fun working on their projects. Want to get them. Sometimes you gotta grab this behind and pull it a little bit if it's wanting to grab and catch on your table. People can't afford to get their upholstery done. You know, it's getting to where only people that have money can actually get upholstery work done. It's tough to sell upholstery jobs too, because you know a lot of people have a lot of money and it costs money. It's your labor. This is just one pillow that we're making here, and you know it takes a lot of time to get each piece out individually, mark it out, cut it out, put it all back together the same way, let it come apart. We got our numbering that you can follow. We've got ways to make this a really fun experience. If you follow these steps, you can have good high quality. So we're going to keep going over numbering, how to number stuff, how to mark stuff, put alignment marks in. I want you to try to do it first before you bring it down for me to do. If you're having a hard time getting it through the sewing machine, lining up the marks, making it right, then bring it down to me, and at least it'll all be marked right, and I can unstitch it, go back, and piece all the pieces together the way they should be. This one I'm sewing a little bit further in because all these pillows are getting sewn together at the 3/8 seam allowance. So I'm going shorter on this one than 3/8. Back stitching locks down your thread so it doesn't unravel. Got another pillow made. This is our second duplicate pillow. So we're back with the D and D. Line it up, hold your stitches, go a couple times. Oh, oopsie. Knocked you over, back stitch, got your threads tied down. And this, I've been following this stitch line, and this is the quality that I'm talking about to the factory compared to our handcrafted ones. We can see the seam allowance right here. It's really short, it's not out to 3/8, so eventually this is going to be ripping out. So we're going to re-stitch this one, double seam it. We're going to go back and follow the 3/8 stitch allowance all the way down. That's why getting them hand built a lot of times is a lot better than your factory stitching. If you know what seam allowances and stuff you're supposed to be using. we're going to put the 3/8 seam allowance in. So our quality is great. We don't have to worry about this pulling apart from itself. This right here is useful. You always want to sew the piece that goes underneath the sewing machine first, because it's easier to fold when it doesn't have a bunch of stuff attached to it, if that makes sense. Strings out of the way. You see the C? See the C? I don't know why my alignment zipper marks aren't there. It wasn't on this one, but I do have my seam mark here. So I'm just going to follow this through. Instead of go back, waste time trying to put a zipper mark on there when I know I don't really need it. If I can just keep these alignments good, then we'll be good. A couple times, back a couple times, come back in, follow the edge. Press your foot, go across your zipper, go back. Uh-oh. The zipper just cut my string. Look at that. So, what we're going to do here, lift that up. Let's rethread our string. Well, that edge is frayed. Can't get it in there. I'm just gonna come on back. Start that again. Take it from the top. Instead of unthreading it, we'll just tie down those threads that are already on there. So a little bit to the inside of them. to back stitch my zippers twice. Oh my gosh. My thread got cut again. The zipper might have put a burr on my needle, and I might have to change my needle. We'll see. I think I just had some long threads bundled up in the machine. Might have been the problem. Let's try this zipper again. Oh, let's continue through. See that quick step action with my foot? I just push my toe down. Let me show you.